In this video, we're going over one devastatingly simple mechanic called the anchor, and we're seeing Eichel use it right here. And the anchor is not just a mechanic. It's very simple to learn, and it's a simple mechanic, but it's also a way of turning and moving laterally that the top NHL players use, that players that struggle moving laterally just don't do. So here's an example of Eichel using it. Here's an example of Kane using it. That's the anchor right there. And here's another example of Eichel using it in this clip here that really illustrates what we mean by using your edges to turn. I'll back this up just a little bit to show exactly that anchor point there. And for Kane, that is right here where we have this anchor. And the anchor, simply put, is dragging your heel to turn. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the actual drill. So the actual way that you'll get reps in on this is just really simple. It's just this. Just drag your heel, drag your heel, drag your heel, drag your heel. So it's just like the anchor or the corkscrew. However, it's something called the anchor. So what you do is you simply drag your heel. Okay, and a couple things happen when you do this. Is one, when you actually drag this heel here, what it does is it actually turns your body and moves you laterally. And not only does it do that, but it also moves the puck across automatically. If your hands and feet are tied together, then when you drag your heel, it also naturally pulls the puck, the stick, in your hands across. So as you can see, each time the anchor happens, the puck also moves across. So a couple of things to pay attention to just in terms of posture is that we want to maintain, ideally, we want to maintain all the same posture cues that we have throughout Train 2.0, which is we still want shin angle specifically on the foot that is providing the turn. So, for example, the inside foot, this foot here, with our foot on the inside edge that is down and providing the turning, we still want to make sure we have the knee over the toe. That's really important. On the toe that is turning, or that is dragging rather, it's less important to have shin angle, but you still want to have your knee over your toe if you were to have the blade flat like this. But that's going to happen naturally. That's not a super huge deal. The other thing that ideally you have is your hand in the Crosby crevice. Again, I say ideally because sometimes that doesn't always happen when you're moving laterally in such a tight way. The other thing you want to make sure that you have is your hands and feet in sync and in motion. So when you're dragging, you're moving the puck across, and when you're moving the puck across, you're dragging. Now this is likely to happen naturally, but this is kind of the whole point of it, is because when you drag, not only do you move laterally with no effort, but you also move the puck across. So the only real way to get this, other than doing the corkscrew, so the corkscrew is like one regression, is to just do it standing and practice actually just dragging the heel. And so here's a good example of that here. Just literally practicing dragging the heel like this. And it's totally different to think that you should actually be dragging the heel to turn. And in dragging the heel, what you're doing is you're actually kind of creating like a literal anchor to slow yourself down. And so a couple things happen when you do this. One, you don't need as much effort to turn. Two, is you remain balanced. Three, if normally you're skating forward with speed and there's a defender here, what you do when you anchor is you actually slow yourself down. You're putting on brakes, so you create space between yourself and the defender. So we're going to watch Eichel do this really, really well right here. This is so cool. When I saw this live, I was very, very excited by it. So we're looking here where as he's attacking this player here on the forecheck, we see that he's using the anchor to pull himself and the puck this way as this guy is trying to check him. So if Eichel instead were to try to push off this foot, he'd actually make the gap between him and the defender smaller. Instead, he's dragging his foot here, and that's allowing him to move laterally. So, and the other nice thing about that is it's really quick to fire off. The other time where you might use an anchor in a game situation is in a situation like this, where you can see here, Eichel's coming out and he's dragging the left foot. And what that's doing is it's kind of creating a way for this skate to rotate, which allows his stick and puck and everything to rotate for the shot. And here's one last really great example of this, where what you can see is the way that Eichel actually moves himself laterally from left to right and right to left is not by pushing off this foot, but instead by dragging his inside edges. So you can see here, he's dragging his inside edge while he has a nice good Y angle on this foot. So that's getting the arc down to move him this way, but he's also dragging this foot. This has the added benefit of allowing him to both balance, stabilize, but then also cut back the other way, which he does in 1 second here, right? So now he can just simply put that foot back down, and then he can go drag this foot, which now causes the rotation this way, and then he can shoot from there. So the top players like Kane and Eichel, what they're doing is they're using their inside edges and dragging their inside edges as a way of like steering the ship, so to speak. And it's a totally, new way of using your skates to move laterally that the top players have figured out. And that is, often untaught. Not many people teach you to drag your inside edges in order to move, but you can see top players like Eichel using that here. And my favorite is, of course, right here. I love this one because that was one that was super helpful to me. That was something that I personally could not do very well. And we also see it here. So you can see Kane using that there. So this is the anchor, and let's go back to it just so you can see exactly what the actual drill looks like. And this is something you just want to get tons of reps on, and it's pretty quick to learn, pretty quick to pick up, but it's a fundamental mechanic that we use in a lot of mechanic stacks, and we use to move laterally. But it's not just the mechanic, it's also the ability or the new mindset of changing direction by dragging your inside edges. And once you learn this mechanic, it starts to make that principle of turning and moving laterally by dragging your inside edges, it starts to make that super clear. So have fun learning this. Your progression, if you're having trouble with this, are those edge drags and the corkscrew. But this is a pretty simple one to pick up, but very impactful. So thanks for watching and have fun with it. Hey, thanks for watching this free downhill skating system 4 lesson. And if you'd like to see the full unified system, the full downhill skating system 4 that will transform your mechanics and really unlock the next level of your game, all working together as a system. So all the lessons are linked up and you get the full picture. Really leaving no stone left unturned, then I'd love for you to join the Train 2.0 Plus membership, where you'll get access to Downhill Skating System 4, and you'll get access to all the videos and everything unlocked. You also get access to the community and our private Facebook group, where we're constantly sharing and connecting with other downhill skating system players. So if that's something you want to do, I invite you to start your either your free trial or your first month with Downhill Skating System. So click the link to join, and I'd love to see what kind of progress you can make with the full unlock system.